Welcome everyone to day 3 of my 17-day fast. I am 65 plus hours in of my third day. I had a reasonably good night's sleep. I'm in ketosis, which is burning fat as opposed to glucose. Not heavy duty. I think I still have some left in my body, but I'm at that point. About the 72-hour mark, you're depleted. Depends on how you metabolize the nutrients in your body. I've lost about 10 pounds. I was 182.5. I'm now 172.5, which is common when you fast. Water, the glucose in your body, the carbs just rip through you. I feel good. I did my training today, my practice, and there's some conversation, debate about can you train, work out, do high intensity interval training during a water fast or a fast or an extended therapeutic deep fast. Most say rest, I say move. And you can see what works best for you. See what, experiment. That's really the whole point, is experiment. What works for you. My last fast, which was about 3-4 months ago, I did train for 10 days. I trained during my 10-day fast, and it worked out really good. And so, find out what works for you. A lot of people say rest. I think that being sedentary in a fast is not what works for me. Unless you're going to do like a wilderness fast, that you just literally go off into the wilderness, which I'd love to do in the future, but I can't right now. I have kids. And so this is what works for me. I move, I train, I do, like today I did a intense body weight strength training regime that I've been doing for like 6 months, and I'm in the highest point of it. And it's hard when you haven't eaten, but I felt good, I felt strong. And then tomorrow I'll do movement training, like Ido Portal, and do these sequences of about 30 minutes. They're about 30 to an hour, and then I stretch, and I feel really good. I feel strong, and I'm interested to see how it'll be on day 13, because I'm starting to deload in that week. So it'll be interesting. And so I'm now in stage 2, 3 to 7 days. See stage 2? That's stage 2. So what's happening in my body? Let's check it out. I feel less hungry according to this, and more energetic. 4 and 5 and 6 days, those days are good. You really feel really good. I felt really good in my day 10 of my last fast. Didn't want to stop, but had to for work reasons. What's happening to your body? I'm in fat burning mode, burning the fat, ketosis. And also with that, it starts to break into what they call, I never say this right, so I'm going to see if I can. It's that, I want to say it autophagy. Another way to say it is autophagy. I think that sounds better, and a lot of people say autophagy. I just can't get that to stick in my brain. But autophagy is where it starts to really break into the cells. It starts to clean out stuff that could be sitting there for decades. So it's using the stores, and autophagy it's that deep detox process that can go on the deeper you go into a fast, and creates this healing component, and that's why a long, deep fast so interests me at this point. So, yeah. So this says, ketosis has begun. Your body burns the stored fat as its primary source. Also, my body will produce ketones. The practice of putting your body in ketosis is a growing movement behind it. People doing it for weight loss, blood sugar regulation, balance. For real, it's all that. Then you can eat a vegan keto diet or a ketogenic diet. I'll talk more about that for sure. Because I've done it all. Haha. And that's I've done a whole food plant-based diet for 5.5 years. I did a whole food plant-based diet with intermittent fasting. And then I did a vegan ketogenic diet with intermittent fasting. And now I do a mostly ketogenic diet. I eat eggs. So you want to get into the ethical debate about ethical vegans, I'm very skilled. So we can. I have a lot of understanding of it, studied it. Ethics is one of my specialities. So the cleansing part, the neuro cleansing that starts to go on is even more fantastic. So I'll go more into that in the days to come too, because when you think about it, we can eat healthy, but we're still not getting the cleansing out that we need by the feast and famine. This is what it all comes down to, is that we have, as a species, as all species do in nature, lived in the feast and famine world, but now we only live in feast for most of us, except for the bottom billion. Sucks for them. No, it's awful. It's awful. But that's, feast and famine is human history. So that's why we deal with fat that way. We burn it, right? That's why when you don't burn the fat out, when you don't cleanse the brain, they're finding research about high carbohydrate diets, because carbohydrates stop autophagy from happening. Sugar too, of course, that's what a lot of carbs are, is the sugars. They block the cleansing process, so you're never getting into it. So Alzheimer's, neurological, dementia, stuff like that, you have real problems because there's never a cleaning going on. And when your body, I'll tell you what, when you're fat adapted, which means your body is burning fat as its primary source, and you've done that for weeks, your brain on ketones is, they call it the keto brain. You are like, when I'm there, I feel like I could read 40 books and write 40 books at the same time. I could do it. You feel just, it's an amazing feeling. I can't wait to get into that and stay there and mix it up too, because you got a carb load too. I'm going to talk about another book later on called Stress and Adaptation Physiology by my friend Christian Vogt Saz, something like that. Zaz. I'll show you. Great, not the greatest writer in the world. No offense, Christian, but you do the research. He goes and looks at the research, and it's fantastic. Fantastic. I learned so much from it, and it really altered my conceptualization. And you can start to see the ideology of the health and fitness industry and how it's wrong. But, no, I mean, I'm not trying to be controversial. So, yeah. I got my first question and comment, and I'm very excited about that. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for watching. So the question was asked, my mom is going to do a water fast for the first time in about a week. How long do you think she should fast? Should she take her vitamins as well? Any suggestions? Thanks, and nice video. Good luck on your fast. Thanks, man. That's from Pun Factory. Well, hopefully she's done some research. That would be my answer. And, you know, her first fast, see how she, you know, all those conditions. Age, health conditions, you know, if she's got pre-existing conditions, she's never done a fast, she's going to do a water fast. What kind of fast? There's all kinds of fasts you can do. So I think if she gets clear with what her goals are, why she's doing it, that will really help clarify things. And I think if you've never fasted, try a 3-day. When in doubt, short 3-day fast. So what happens in that 3 days, as I've talked about already, and I'm in my 3rd day, is that you just get to the beginning. You're just starting to get the glucose out of your body and start going into ketosis. So it's kind of a really awful feeling. So people will freak out. Oh, I'm dying, I'm dying, and you're not. You're not. They get nauseous. Some people get headaches. Women in particular, I've found longer they fast, they can have cramps and pains in their body that I haven't experienced, like my partner. So she'll like have a sip of like pickle juice because it has salt in it. So people always talk about electrolytes. I don't add anything except right now I'm drinking a little bit of coffee. There's no electrolytes in that, but I just like coffee a lot, and there is a appetite suppressant part to it. So, but yeah, so start easy, take it easy. Make sure she sets enough time. So if she's cooking for everybody and stuff like that, that could be a real challenge. The key is to minimize the stress, which I'm going to talk about more tomorrow. Stress tomorrow. I talked about that in day 2, stress. So we'll talk more about how do you manage a long-term stress when daily life still goes on, and if you can't do a wilderness fast, which I would love to do in the future, and I'll talk more about in the days to come, which means you just go and lay around in the wilderness or move around the wilderness. That's something I would love to do, but I have children, and I still work at times. So I'll have some time to where, especially later in the fast, where I can really not have to be as active, but still be active, still move, and still have my daily responsibilities. So how do you do that experience? So my first fast was 3 days, years ago. And then I did a 9-day fast a couple weeks later, but I'd set aside, I'd prepared, I knew exactly what I was doing, right? Some people are, when they first start, they're very careful, as they should be. They're puritanical even, like, do I need distilled water, etc., etc., etc. And that's up to you. It's your journey, if you will. I did distilled water. I, was super cautious, and you don't want to do a 20-day fast for your first time. And you need supervision. If you don't know what you're doing, you need to be educated. Sorry, this video is going to be like 10 minutes long, but you need to educate yourself and be confident in what you're doing. And when you have concerns, real concerns, see, I don't mind the suffering part, but if I have real concerns, I'm going to stop the fast. And so far, I have not had any concerns in my fasting experience. So yeah, so that would be my answer to that is 3 days to start, see how it feels, because you're just getting into ketosis, your mom will be, and see how it feels, I mean, you can even like, oh, that's too long, try a 24-hour fast, it's just kind of, and keep reading and learning about what it is to fast. The more you know, the better. I've read several books before I did, just because I wanted to know what I was doing. I have some idea anyway. And every site, every book you read, like they'll say if you're going to go into a deep fast, you need doctor supervision. Yeah, I've not done that, and I'm fine. So but I'm also cautious, but I'm also in a good position in the sense of my overall state of well-being, shall we say. So, yeah. Until tomorrow, everyone, happy weekend.